Hello everyone, my name is Preeti Dhanda and welcome to Prakash Academy. कल का लेक्चर होप करती हूँ आप सबको समझ आया होगा. आपने अगर देखा है हमने कल करे थे बेसिक्स विच आर रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस मोशन चैप्टर. हमें क्या क्या चीज़ें आनी चाहिए है ना. कल हमने वो किया था. क्या क्या किया था हमने किया था व्हाट आर फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज़. क्या होती हैं फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज़. क्या सारी फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज़ की डायमेंशन होती है विच इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सम फिजिकल क्वांटिटीज़ आर डायमेंशनलेस. देन भी हमने करा था देन प्रोपोर्शंस कि हाउ विल डिस्क्राइब दैट वेदर दे आर डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू क्वांटिटीज आर डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल और इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल. देन वी हैव डन इंट्रोडक्शन टू ग्राफ्स. ये सब कुछ आप कर चुके हो. हमने एज अ रिविजन किया था. सो टुडे विल टेक अप फर्दर. आज हम स्टार्ट करेंगे पहले इंपॉर्टेंट चीज व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्केलर एंड वेक्टर क्वांटिटीज. बहुत ही सिंपल है. Scalar quantities which take into account only magnitude, and while vectors they take magnitude and direction both into account when we tell them. When we tell, for example, for distance, we say the distance between A point and B point is 4 kilometers. But this is the A point, this is the B point. The distance between A and B is 4 kilometers, I'll say. Okay. Then how it is different with displacement? Displacement, when we describe it with direction. We have to tell how much a body has displaced from A to B. So body has displaced 4 kilometers towards east. Okay, so that is the difference when we say this is scalar and this is vector. Scalars, they only have magnitude while vectors have magnitude and direction. So some of the examples I have written, there are many other examples for scalars also and for vectors also. Like distance. Distance is a scalar quantity. From whenever we say the distance between 2 points, we always tell 4 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 100, 1000 kilometers. But when we say displacement, we always have to tell its direction with direction. A body has displaced from A to B 4 kilometers towards east. We'll have to write like that. Similarly, speed. Speed is your scalar quantity while velocity is vector. We have to define with direction only. Normally we just represent distance by D and we represent displacement by S. And when we represent vector quantities, we always represent with arrow sign. Arrow, that means this is a vector quantity. Okay. There are many examples for vector also. Displacement, velocity, force, acceleration, weight, momentum. These all are vector quantities. Okay. Now, these are vector quantities. We'll study one by one all of them in different chapters, of course. In this chapter, we'll discuss displacement, velocity and acceleration mainly. These three things we'll describe. Okay. Now, scalars and vectors you understood. Now tell me when a body is said to be at motion. So rest and motion, they are relative terms. Okay. Now how we can describe, suppose there are you and your friend. This is the road and this is your bus stop and where you and your friend are standing for waiting for your school bus to come. Okay. Now when you both are standing at bus stop, tell me, are you at rest or motion with one another? Yes, you are at rest with respect to one another. Okay. Now one bike or one cycle that goes. Okay, I'm just telling you. Okay, this is the cycle, a person is riding a cycle and he is passing by you, then he will say or you will say that that person is in motion with respect to you. Correct? Because he is not at rest with you with respect to you, but still you both are at rest with respect to each other. While a third person sitting on this bicycle which is moving is not at rest with respect to you. He is at motion. Okay. That bus comes and goes. That's fine. Now what happens? Now your bus is coming. Okay. Now your bus has come. Now your bus has come and you both take a seat in your bus. Bus starts moving. Now tell me whether you are at rest or in motion. Now again, when we'll compare you, each of you with each other or any other your friend who is sitting in this bus, you are at rest with any person who is in this bus. With respect to that person, you are at rest. Because you are in the same bus and you people are sitting in the bus and the bus is moving with some speed. So you are at rest with respect to one another. While a person who is standing near a tree, for him, you are at motion. Correct? So whenever we talk about rest or motion, they are relative terms and we compare the two things and then only tell that they are in motion or at rest. Okay. Now we'll go further. Now further, next thing which is important is difference between distance and displacement. Now you must already be clear about what is distance. Distance is length of path between two points, between any points. While displacement, how you will define? The shortest possible distance between 2 points. Shortest possible distance, not the length of path. Length of path is distance. Now these are the 2 points, A and B. They are the 2 points, A and B. So the distance between them is 4 kilometers. Through this path only, the distance is 4 kilometers. So we'll say distance is 4 kilometers. Similarly, if same will take same this thing, then this is the path between A and B. Now what will be the displacement between A and B? So displacement will be the shortest path. Now shortest path is this. This will be the displacement and this comes out to be suppose 2.5 kilometers. So I'll say displacement is 2.5 kilometers while the distance is 4 kilometers. Okay. Now a person travels from A to B and takes this particular path. This particular path is taken by a person from A to B. So the distance travelled is this much only. While what will be the displacement? Displacement is the shortest path. This path, this will be the displacement. Now what are its unit? Both have same units, meter and meter. Now because distance, I told you, it is a scalar quantity. We can represent it by telling only its magnitude. While displacement, it needs direction also, so it is a vector quantity. Now displacement, its value is always positive. We cannot say that a person has displaced from this position to this position and displacement distance travelled by him is 0 from this to this. If a person has moved, it has travelled some distance. Some amount of distance will always be there. So that is why it is always positive. While displacement, it can be positive, negative or zero also. Now positive to this way, if a person has taken this particular path from A to B, so displacement is the shortest distance between these two paths. So this is the shortest possible distance. So this is positive. What about 0? If a person started from this particular point and takes this route and comes back again to the same starting point, so how much it is displaced? Starting from this point and came back again to the same point. So the displacement is 0. Will the distance also be 0? No, distance is not 0 because it has moved this much. So distance is this total length of path. That will be the distance, while displacement is 0. Okay. Now when it can be negative? Again, let's take an example. A person started from this O point and moves to this point B. It is 4 kilometers, suppose. Then from B to it moves to point C, and the distance between this is 6 kilometers. So just tell me what will be the displacement. Now in graphs, if you remember, if you have not done that basics, which is very important, please first watch the first lecture, which is very important, and which is all the basic things which are required for your motion chapter. So that is why we have done that first. If you have not watched that, please watch that. Okay. Whenever we are going in this direction, this is the positive x-axis. We are going in this direction, so this is will be taken as positive 4. So we have taken positive 4. But from B to C, it is going in the x-axis only, but towards the negative side. So that is why minus OC we will take. So minus 6. So the resultant is 4 minus 6 minus 2. So the displacement is minus 2. So displacement can be negative also. What about distance in this case? This is distance. So how much distance it has travelled? From O to B 4 kilometers and from B to C again 6 kilometers. So the total distance would be 4 plus 6, which is 10. So distance is 10, which is positive only, while displacement is negative. Got it? So displacement can be positive, negative and 0. All values it can take. Chalo, we'll take again one more example. Person starts from O, goes till A, then from A to B is 8 meters, from O to A it is given 10 meters, then A to B is A. I have just, this much distance is not travelled, this is just to show that it is going from A to B. Otherwise, if I will show here only overlapping, so that would be difficult. So that is why this distance I have shown, okay, this one. So from A to B, 8 meters, then from B to C, again 2 meters, then from C to D, 3 meters. Now we will have to find the total distance and displacement, okay. Okay, so from O to A, the total distance is 10 and displacement is also 10. Correct? This is the same only. O to A, 10 meters and 10 meters. Now what will be the distance from O to B? This. O to A and from A to B. O to A is 10, while from A to B is 8. So total is 18. What about displacement? Now see, 10 meters, it is going towards the positive side of x-axis. So we'll take positive. So 10 is positive. While from A to B, it is going in the negative direction of x. So minus 8. So that is why the displacement is 2. Okay. Now again, from O to C, if we will have to calculate distance and displacement from O to C. So from O to A to B, and then B to C. So from O to A, 10, A to B, 8, B to C, 2. So O to A, positive 10, A to B, minus 8, B to C, again minus 2. So the displacement is 0. It has come back to original, while distance travelled is full. Distance is 10, 8 and 2. So full total 20, while displacement plus 10 minus 8 minus 2, which comes out to be 0. Okay, then from O to D, distance, if we will see distance always positive, we will have to take positive only. So 10 plus 8 plus 2 plus 3, that comes out to be 23. While displacement, we will have to take direction also into account. O to A plus 10, A to B minus 8, B to C minus 2, C to D minus 3, comes out to be minus 3. I hope you understood how we have to calculate displacement and how we have to take into account positive and negative direction. Okay. Now the next topic which comes in this is speed and velocity. Correct? This is speed and this is velocity. So how we define speed? Rate of change of distance is speed. Rate of change of distance, and this is rate of change of displacement. Distance and displacement we just now discussed. Distance and displacement. Displacement with direction, distance without direction, only magnitude we have to take into account. So speed is change in distance over change in time, or the time taken, total time taken. In simple terms, we can write d over t, because we denote distance by d and we denote displacement by s. So velocity is rate of change of displacement. So change in displacement and change in time taken. Both will have same unit, meter per second. Speed is scalar and velocity is vector. Why it is vector? Because it takes displacement into account, and displacement is vector because it takes magnitude into account. That is why this is also vector. If we will have to give example, so we will say 5 meter per second, and for this we will say 5 meter per second due east. Okay, this is one way. Acha. When we will take velocity into account, so what we will say? If a body is dropped down, like how we were taking for displacement, the direction into account, similarly for velocity also we have to take. Suppose the body is dropped, so it is coming down. The vertical part of the, this is the y-axis, the vertical direction. So in vertical, if it is a body is coming downward, we will take negative. And then when it reaches ground, it is rebound. So it is going upward. So positive velocity will take. While solving numericals, we will take this velocity into account. Okay. Okay. Now what is average speed and average velocity? How we calculate average speed and average velocity? Okay. So what is average speed? Total distance over total time taken. Okay. Total distance over total time taken. Okay. and average velocity, that is total displacement over total time taken. So means the difference is this distance and displacement. For velocity, we'll have to take total displacement, and for speed we have to take total distance. Time taken is same only. Now we'll take up an example. Suppose a body starts from point A, goes to point B, which is 40 meters away, and covers this 40 meters in 10 seconds. Then from B to C, it covers 60 meters in 30 seconds. Okay, a body first travels to B and then to C. Now you have to find what is its average speed. So average speed would be total distance over total time taken. So what is the total distance? From A to B, it has travelled 40 meters, and from B to C, it has travelled 60 meters. So I will write 40 meters plus 60 meters, that is the total distance travelled. Okay, over total time taken. So what will be the time taken? 10 seconds and 30 seconds. So total time taken will be 10 plus 30, which is 40. So the answer would be 100 over 40, which is 2.5 meters per second. Always whenever numerical comes, the final answer should include unit beta. This is important. Unit should be written with answer. Otherwise your marks will cut for not writing unit. Okay. Now in the same example, if we have to calculate average velocity, how we are going to calculate velocity, average velocity. Average velocity is total displacement. Now what is displacement? That is the shortest path between 2 points. So body has travelled from A, it has started from A and reached point C. So what will be the shortest path? This would be the shortest path. Now why this would be the shortest path? Because they have given that A and B, they are at 90 degrees. So in whenever two lines, they are perpendicular to each other, so hypotenuse, that gives the shortest path. We know that. Okay. So how we will calculate this hypotenuse? By using Pythagoras theorem. We all have studied Pythagoras theorem. So what does that says? Pythagoras theorem says that hypotenuse, square of hypotenuse, that is equal to square of perpendicular plus square of base. Now here we can take this AB as base and BC as perpendicular. So square of base ka square, that is 40 square, and perpendicular square is 60 square. So h square equal to this. If we have to write h, so that will be square root of p square plus b square. So p is perpendicular. Perpendicular is how much? 60. So I have written a square root of 60 square plus 40 square. Now 60 square is 3600 and 40 square is 1600, which comes out to be 5200. So square root of 5200, that comes out to be 72.1. This is not your average velocity, this is just the displacement. The displacement between A and C. This is the displacement that we have found, the hypotenuse distance. What will be the average velocity? Total displacement over total time taken. So displacement is with Pythagoras theorem that we have used, 72.1, while total time taken, that would be 10 plus 30, so 40 seconds only. So the average velocity comes out to be 1.8 meter per second. Again meter per second, unit, please always write units. Okay. Chalo, I hope you must have understood this much. Chalo, let's go further. Chalo, next is acceleration. So what is acceleration? Rate of change of velocity is your acceleration. Rate of change of velocity. Change of velocity. It takes into account velocity. Velocity takes into account displacement. Displacement takes into account direction. So that means acceleration is also a vector quantity and it is rate of change of velocity. So change in velocity over time taken. Now change in velocity. Change in how we find change? From final minus initial. So final velocity we denote it by v. In physics, we take this denomination only, that we define final velocity by v and initial velocity by u. This is the general trend which we take into account. Okay, time taken is t seconds. Now how will calculator find its unit? Okay, we know the unit of velocity, it is meter per second. Okay, meter per second divided by time taken, again second. So it is meter per second square, because this second will also come down. So it will be meter over second square. So we can write meter per second square. Okay. Chalo. Ab I said that acceleration is rate of change in velocity. Means acceleration will happen whenever there is change in velocity. Correct? Whenever there is change in velocity, then acceleration will occur. Okay, so this is important. Now how? The question is how this velocity can be changed. Yes, it can be changed whenever there is change in magnitude or there is change in direction. In two ways velocity can be changed. Now magnitude is either we increase the velocity or decrease the velocity. Whenever the roads are clean, we just speed up our car. So that is acceleration. And whenever red light comes or whenever there is traffic, busy road, so the velocity that decreases, or we say this is deceleration or retardation. So this is how there is change in magnitude. Now how we can change the direction? Suppose velocity is, the magnitude remains same. The body is moving at constant velocity, 40 meter per second. Okay. Okay. But it changes its direction. First it is going towards east, then it is going towards northeast. The direction is changed. Then also we can say that there is change in velocity, so there is acceleration. Whenever there is change in velocity, there is acceleration. One example is this. Another example, hit and rebound. Hit and rebound, a ball is dropped. Suppose I take a ball and it is dropped. This is ground. Okay. So it just drops here and then again it will start moving upward after rebounding. So it is coming downward, then different direction, going upward, different direction. So again there will be change in velocity. Okay. Then I gave a example which is when a body that moves in a circle. This is very important. In a circle, if a body is moving in a circle with constant speed, body is moving in a circle with constant speed, 10 meter per second. Constant speed is there, but still its motion is said to be accelerated motion. Why? There is always acceleration. Why? Because at each and every point of circle, direction is given by tangent at that particular point. So tangent at that particular point is always one unique. That means the direction is unique. That means at each and every point the direction is different. So whenever there is change in direction, that means the velocity, even if the speed is same, the velocity changes. So that is why always in a circular motion, even if the body is moving at a constant speed, it is always accelerated. And this is very important point. I am telling you again and again. the question will come from this particular point. Always it is asked. Whenever I also make a paper, I just put this question. Okay, let's take up some examples. Okay, suppose a body is moving from one point to another point. The initial velocity is 4 meter per second. It is not that I am showing that body is coming downward. It is just, it is going from one point to another point. I am just showing this way. So initial velocity is 4 meter per second, final velocity is 12 meter per second, and the time is 5 seconds. So means a body changes its speed from 4 to 12 in 5 seconds. We have to find the acceleration. What is the formula for acceleration? Change in velocity over time. So what is the final velocity? First we have to take the final velocity. Final velocity, I said that it is 12. Okay, initial velocity it is 4. So 12 minus 4 over time taken. How much time it took to change its velocity from 4 to 12? It took 5 seconds. So 12 minus 4 over 5, which comes out to be 1.6. So that is the acceleration. Okay. Now suppose a body is moving from one point and it comes to halt or at rest in 2 seconds. It started moving at 10 meter per second, but suddenly a red light comes, so it has to stop. It stopped in 2 seconds. So find its acceleration. Again, acceleration will be change in velocity over time. Now what will be the change in velocity? Change in velocity is final velocity minus initial velocity over time. So final velocity is 0, initial velocity 10. So 0 minus 10 over 2 or minus 5. So the acceleration is minus 5 or deceleration, because I am writing D here, deceleration for negative sign, deceleration. So I will not write minus here. I will say deceleration of 5 meter per second square or acceleration of minus 5 meter per second square. Okay. Okay, chalo. We'll take up the next question. Now in this question, it is saying that a ball hits the ground with the speed of 10 meter per second and rebounds. So ball hits the ground means it is dropped from up, it is coming down, and at what speed? 10 meter per second, and rebounds back upward with 8 meter per second. And the time of collision is 0.2 seconds, and you have to calculate the acceleration. So just think, what is the formula for acceleration? Again, v minus u over t, change in velocity over time taken. Okay, what is the final velocity? Think about it. Body is coming downward, it is coming downward. Think of a graph, it is coming downward. So velocity is a vector quantity. Vector quantities take always direction into account. It is coming downward, body is coming downward, so negative direction. Then after hitting the ground, it is moving upward. So positive velocity will take. So V will take positive because that is the final velocity after rebound. So 8 minus this much. What is the initial velocity? Initial velocity is minus 10 because it is coming downward. So minus of anything, minus of minus is positive. So that is why it comes out to be 18 divided by 0.2, which comes out to be 90 meter per second square. Unit is important. Remember, unit is very important. Otherwise, your half mark will get cut. I hope you are understanding. Okay. Then take one more example. A ball is thrown vertically upward. Okay, ball is thrown vertically upward now. Okay, with a velocity of 10 meter per second. It rises and then falls back. Okay, falls down after 3 seconds. So time is 3 seconds. Now speed is 20. So initially it is going upward. So initially body is going upward. Whenever going upward, velocity is taken positive. Then after reaching highest point, it is again coming back. Like how we throw the ball upward, then after some time it comes back. The same thing is happening. So when it is coming back downward, so downward means negative velocity. So acceleration, final velocity is minus 20. Okay, minus. Then initial velocity is 10. So minus 20 minus 10 over 3. So minus 30 over 3 or minus 10 means there is deceleration or negative acceleration or retardation of 10 meter per second square unit. Okay, I hope you understood, and the points which I just put stress, these points are very important. I am telling you about in terms of your examination point of view. Whenever you write answers, whenever you solve numerical, how you have to solve numerical and what all things children they may do mistake. I am just pointing out those things. Okay, so keep those in mind, and please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get information whenever we put new lecture. And stay tuned, and tomorrow again we'll be back with new lecture. We'll go further for this chapter. आगे का चैप्टर करेंगे, और कोई भी प्रॉब्लम हो, कोई डाउट हो तो कमेंट कीजिए. विल रिप्लाई बैक टू योर कमेंट. ओके, फाइन, टेक केयर, सी यू.